If you're an introverted person, you probably put extroverts on a pedestal. You look at your life and you look at their life, and you just see them posting content on social media around people all the time. They have so many friends, they seem to have it so easy socially. They have social skills, they are able to bond with people, to be charismatic and magnetic, and you're just alone all the time. You're spending all your time stuck inside of your house in between four walls. Maybe you're working, maybe you're just procrastinating and spending all your time on screens. You are alone, that's the takeaway, and they are not. So you start developing an inferiority complex when it comes to socializing. And every single time you encounter extroverts, you start feeling behind, you start feeling inferior to them. You start spotting all of their qualities and then compare them to all your flaws. And you conclude that you are so much worse than them. So being an extrovert is the ideal, isn't it? What if your conclusions are flawed? What if you, being an introvert, is perfectly fine? I heard this interesting thing from Andrew Huberman, and he said that the difference between extroverted people and introverted people is the amount of time they need to spend around people in order to feel like they get enough dopamine for socializing. So, in other words, how much time do you need to spend around others to feel like your social batteries are full again? And if you're an introvert, maybe you just need to spend like 8 hours per week around people, maybe even less. Like, imagine how much extra time you're freeing up by being an introvert. How can that be bad? But then let's compare it with being an extrovert. There are extroverted people that they don't necessarily choose to spend the time with others. They need to spend the time with others because unless they do that, they cannot operate simply. So they have the compulsion to spend time around other people. Now, I'm not saying all extroverts are like that. I'm sure there are a lot of extroverts that just have a healthy balance between these because being an introvert or an extrovert is just a spectrum and you can be more of it or less of it. It's a percentage game. You have to realize that it's very unfair to look at an extrovert's life and just pick one character trait that you want to implement in your life because that character trait comes with consequences. You can't simply take that, put it in your life, and you will end up with your life as it were before, but with one better trait. No, it comes with a lot of emotional baggage and consequences that you aren't even aware of. Like, literally, imagine that extroverted person's compulsive life, compulsive behavior in life, and imagine their inner world. Are they really that happy? Maybe they post pictures on social media, maybe they are with a smile on their face all the time because that's how they're used to being. But are they really, really feeling that good? Now, I'm telling you this because I have been like that myself. I have been the introvert that used to put extroverts on a pedestal, used to view them as the ideal. But they are not the ideal at all. And I was absolutely shocked to realize that there are introverted people that don't feel inferior to extroverts. There are introverted people that are able to just socialize like 5 hours a week and their social battery is perfectly charged and they do not feel inferior whatsoever. So really have this in mind the next time you start feeling inferior to someone that seems more social than you. Are they really, really feeling that good? Are they really having such a nice experience of life as it seems to be from the outside? Because maybe you could just have a better experience by being an introvert. Maybe it's just okay to not force anything and to end up socializing as much as you need. Because why do you assume that you have to fight against your nature? Why do you assume that you are wrong? Maybe it would be better for you to just get used to value what you have more. Because when you're an introvert, you have more free time. When you are an introvert, the friendships you build are less, like you don't have numbers, but you have depth. And extroverts oftentimes don't have that depth. They have more shallow relationships, but they have more relationships. You can have maybe one friend or a couple of friends, and you really get to know them very, very well. Now, that's a great thing to have, that's a great trait. So stop downplaying it. Be proud to be an introvert. There's nothing wrong with you. Just be yourself. Stop forcing yourself to be more extroverted than you feel like being. And look, if you really authentically feel like being more extroverted, but you feel like you have some blocks that don't allow you to be like that, okay, there is something to work on. But forcing yourself against what you're feeling is not the way. The way is to work on yourself and to realize what's blocking you and to destroy those blocks. And that's when your true, authentic nature will just kick in.